Hey, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man. And today I'm going to be teaching you about spiritual law. This is going to be a simple video, but I'm going to teach you how things work because there's something that God set into place that everyone must follow. So spiritual law follows physical law. Spiritual law has a large set of patterns that it follows, and they're pretty simple, but I'm going to go on the first one. The spiritual law follows the path of least resistance. Physical law does that. So you have to think about it like this. If an ant finds food, and there's one food that is way too big for it to eat, and it has to wait for other ants, but it has to eat immediately, or bring back to the queen, then that ant will... It's an interesting example. That ant, in fact, will take the smaller piece to bring it back, and another ant will come to take the bigger piece because the smaller piece was available. What does that mean? It basically means that spiritual law was followed in physical law form. What does that mean? Are ants spiritual? Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. They are one of the most spiritual beings ever. They're small, but there's no size in the spiritual realm. Now, I'm going to talk about this in depth. That's why, for example, when you guys pray for prosperity, but you're not specific, that's why I say if you ask God, can you have some money? You'll find a cent, you'll find a dollar, a penny on the ground. That's it. And you're like, where is it? But you weren't specific. You give an actual number. I'm not going to say the secret, but watch videos on all the lottery winners who have won. They all have this, they basically all say the same things. They all say the same exact things. Not the things that I say, because I do it through the Lord. Some of them do it through the Lord. Some of them do get cocky afterwards. That's the thing. God will let you guys win the lottery too after you confide in him, and then when your real self comes out, then he'll just make an example. That's a whole different video topic. I have to make a video topic about the diversity of lottery winners. But this video is about spiritual law. I can't share secrets about winning the lottery. I can't. I'm not allowed to. Yep. Jesus said no. I'd love to. That's for the special people. But why do I close my eyes like this? To look at the visions. Some of them don't make sense. They just don't. But, so I'm just seeing visions of nature and animals. So, if a bear is near a body of water, I mean, and this is the thing, some of it doesn't make sense, but it's just following, it's taking whatever's easier. So if there's less fish over here, but it's able to get it immediately, it's going to take less fish versus going to the one with more fish up the river because it's least resistance. A muscle group, if you work out a muscle, it follows spiritual law. Muscles are very spiritual. So when you're exercising and let's just say you're working out a muscle, but another muscle has to be worked out, that one will take the path of least resistance because it needs to be worked out more because of whatever kind of movement you're doing. Something to think about. So spiritual law follows the path of least resistance. So it's a little bit complicated. That's why your manifestations really don't make sense. It's because you didn't think that was the path of your least resistance. So more about spiritual law. It's influenced by God. So God basically bends it to people of his will, let's just say. So you could be on the right side of it. The law of chance. So basically, there's a whole bunch of God's children who do well, and there's a whole bunch that don't do well. It's because they're not using spiritual law. So you have to know how it works because it follows a certain pattern. It follows a certain set of rules. So once you get used to the set of rules, you're like, okay, so what else does spiritual law follow? Spiritual law also follows planets. So when it comes to planets, you have to know that if the moon is able to move water, where are we in the spectrum of what the moon is moving? So I'm just talking about the moon alone. So if the moon is constantly moving water, and we are mostly water, then ask yourself, what are the other planets moving? What are the other stars in the sky moving? Oh, no one thinks about what stars are moving. I'm going to think of a good example. So stars affect us very heavily. The sun is a star. It's a big star, but what do little stars do? So now what am I getting to? Constellations affect us. Zodiac signs affect us. So this is a very intricate video. I will teach astrology one day. It will not be the way that you guys know astrology. Real astrology is weird. And astrology is actually... I'm not going to talk about this right now. Whatever kind of part of the world you're on, the astrology changes. That's why there's Vedic and that's why there's Western, Eastern, Viking. It's because of different coordinates under the sun. I can't share the secrets about the sun like that, but it is pretty cool. So astrology is really cool, but spiritual law and physical law, because the stars are physical, they're hydrogen and helium. I'm gonna throw this into this video right now. The best argument for nothing but water being above us in the firmament is that, I love teaching this, basically you can't make a star without water. I'd like you to watch a video on YouTube called A Star in a Jar. There's no making a star out of thin air, gas, etc. That's a firmament. The first part of Genesis, day 4, God made stars, the moon, etc. And why am I talking about that? It's because spiritual law is followed by physical law. So a whole bunch of stuff that happens to you is being weighted on by certain planetary changes. So if you're waiting to get lucky on a certain day, let's just say if you play the lottery, maybe your spiritual law, because let's just say you were under a certain set of constellations, maybe it's like a Rubik's Cube. Maybe you have to flip the Rubik's Cube to getting into your favor, but it has to take a couple of months because that's when you actually get lucky. So, for example, a lot of millionaires don't use astrology like that, but big billionaires actually use astrology. They have something called a pocket astrologist. What does that? It means you basically hire someone for the rest of your life to either just basically as a pocket astrologist. Sometimes they'll live with the millionaire, or billionaire, I mean. Sometimes they'll live basically in like a special place. But I can't teach about that one too much because I don't know how public information that is, because I've learned that from people I know. So they're like, oh, I can't even say it. I know I'm not going to say anyone's name because, you know what? I won't say anything. Nothing at all. Let's just say I know someone who knows someone, I'm really not going to say much, who got hired because that being was so, I'm going to say being to protect the person. They were so good at astrology that they got hired. That's all I'm going to say. They were right about everything because they're able to, let me show you like this. So I don't know how to describe it, but like it's like this. So when this, look, so bit, and this happens, that's when it happens. And then after that, it doesn't happen anymore. So that's why if your manifestations are like this, then this, then this, it has to wait until this to happen. It's like a puzzle. So everything is protons, electrons, neutrons. Those are all spiritual. Those are positive, negative charges, and there's positive and negative energy. So if you're waiting for a certain set of positive energy, you have to wait for the alignment of that positive energy. So spiritual and physical law perfectly align. This is a really interesting video. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section. This video is really cool. I like this video. Do you like this video? Share in the comments if you do. So give thanks to God and have a wonderful day, guys. I'm teaching some very interesting, simple topics. Maybe I'll simplify them even more. If you like the shorter videos, let me know. If you like the longer videos, let me know. I can make these videos 7 minutes. I can make them 10 minutes. It's whatever you guys like. I have a bunch of videos that you can watch on YouTube as well. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. God bless all of you. Ciao.